Hello.
How are you?
Let's start big picture. Tell us about the CIO role at the bank and what kind of AI investments you're making and on the lookout for.
Yeah, well, there are many CIOs we're one of the largest technology companies in the world, actually. So we are uniquely organized. Our CIO and Chief Technology Officer, Hari, oversees a group of Chief Information Officers for our lines of business, our revenue generating lines of business, our consumer, wealth management, private bank, US trust, commercial and business banking clients in global markets. So we have CIOs dedicated to those businesses. And then we're really uniquely positioned because we have a set of horizontal CIOs. Mm-hmm. And those horizontal CIOs look at the aggregate demand of technology from our lines of business and those client-facing CIOs, and we build scalable horizontal capabilities like AI with global information security. I own the data and analytics and data management space and data protection and privacy. Our technology infrastructure team, our chief technology infrastructure, and then our production support teams. Because those horizontals, along with the horizontal risk and control function, are how you deliver responsible technology, regardless of whether it's the mobile banking app or the online app, or in this case, today we're talking about how you deliver responsible AI.
So let's dig deeper on the AI part of that. Like, I think something that's probably important for everybody thinking about how to deploy AI in their business is like, how do you pick? So how do you make those determinations? Like, what do you measure? What's the ROI you look for? Where do you look to invest?
Yeah, with any technology, and look, we're in this unique moment in time because the combination of traditional machine learning and AI with generative AI just presents very unique opportunities for any business. But we focus at the bank on a disciplined velocity around understanding our business processes first, and then through those business processes, and we have all 3,700 of them at the bank mapped in great detail, where is AI going to create one of three or four things?
Yeah.
Is it going to enhance our clients' experience and drive revenue growth? Is it going to enable productivity of our associates and employees and improve productivity and allow them to shift to more value-created activities like spending time with clients or higher judgment or strategic or even creative work? Or is it going to reduce risk? And I know we talked about information security as an example, or scale more broadly with the same number of people to reduce risk and ensure operational and compliance and support for those functions.
So it's very data intensive, and like as a bank has enormous amounts of data. Talk about the challenge of like the data setup, right? Like being able to track and manage and understand all of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, part of my role, and we talked about our enterprise AI strategy. For those of you who work with AI, you know the data and the AI are two sides of the same coin, right? Because you have to start with a strong foundation of high quality, accurate, and complete data, especially in regulated industries, right?
Right.
If we think of, you're just asking ChatGPT for an answer at home, doing something fun, it can be wrong. When I'm dealing with clients or customers or associates in the context of a regulated business, the accuracy, the transparency, the reliability, data is the fuel to that. The context of the data we give it, the accuracy of the responses. And so we've invested $1.5 billion just in the data space since 2021 to uniquely position us to deliver that AI at scale against a really, really strong bet of high quality.
It's kind of a tip for folks thinking about AI implementation here, is that there's a garbage in, garbage out mentality, and just don't think about what's coming out, think about what's going into that model.
Right.
To make sure what you're getting out is good. You did mention that you're a highly regulated industry. Banks have a lot of rules to follow, like a huge element of trust. How do you make sure the AI is responsible to those rules and that trust relationship that you have with clients?
Yeah, and in some ways, we have a competitive advantage because we were highly regulated, we've been highly regulated. We have a really rigorous risk management framework that we've had in place for a long time. That risk management framework looks at over 16 dimensions of risk, and it's been revisited in light of generative AI to add new risks. Things like transparency, explainability, intellectual property, legal, adversarial threat in the GIS space, model bias. So, and now hallucinations and other concerns unique to generative AI, right? So we've taken that risk framework, and anytime we have a use case where we want to implement, we have a risk management process that assess not only the use case and how we're using it, what's the data, what are the controls we're putting on it, what's the continuous monitoring and alerting, and how do we get comfortable that that control environment mitigates the risks of using AI. And I would say we're very disciplined in that approach. It lets us scale faster though, because we were a little bit slower. You know, when AI first came out in generative AI, we were a little more cautious. We spun up a set of proof of concepts, and we really worked through that proof of concept, that control framework in those proofs of concept.
Right.
So now we can, with confidence, repeat that control framework as we bring new use cases onto our resilient, scalable platforms.
I want to dig into the cultural part of this a little bit. How do you bring the workforce along with you? Like, how do you encourage people to embrace this, how to innovate and reskill in light of it?
I think the first thing you have to do is you really have to create a culture that understands the importance of AI as a human assistant to their day-to-day jobs. And that means you have to give AI assistance or enablements to 200, in our case, 213,000 employees. Microsoft was here earlier. We rolled out our Microsoft Copilot, right? Which enables you to interact and ask questions as part of your general email and your collaboration tools. We actually create prompt playbooks in our businesses where we share best practice around, wow, using Copilot, here's something really useful I'm now able to do that takes time out of my day. So we're creating a culture of celebrating and teaching each other in community. We also have technology focus groups where teams get together and talk about how we can use the technology. For example, our code generation tooling, right? We have 18,000 technologists now generating code using GitHub Copilot. They share best practices all of the time. Right. And we have an academy in-house that is a training and curriculum development, and they are building a rich set of training, not only for technology, but for all of our business associates so they can understand things like prompt engineering. What is an agent? How do you think of the art of the possible? And we want to reinforce and kind of celebrate the fact that once you're an employee at Bank of America, our job is to reskill you to use these tools effectively, to make you more productive, and actually to take toil out of your job, right?
That's a lot of enterprise examples, but as we know here, we like to end on one fun thing, so let's make it one personal AI thing. What's a cool way you're using AI in your life?
The fun things in the data, I have two that I do all the time. One, I usually go to make dinner at night and I look at whatever's in the fridge or the freezer that I haven't gotten out in a while, and I say, hey, I've got 3 things.
Have the robot figure it out.
Give me 3 or 4 recipes that I could make in under 20 minutes for dinner. So I'm an empty nester, my husband and I, so that's a fun one. I also use it for seasonal gardening. I don't know if other people do, but you can tell it where you live. You can tell it what time of year you're wanting to do planting and what kind of flowers or things you like. If you want annuals or perennials, it'll actually design a garden. And you can iterate on the designs, and then you just go, it'll do a pick list, and you can go to your nursery.
I can attest to that. I've asked AI for planting advice as well, and the plant is alive still, so it must have worked. Michelle, thank you so much for being here. Huge thanks to Bank of America for their years of support of Axios, and now it's time to bring Ina back on stage.
Thank you.